technically, which was the division that was all the old guys? Which one was it?
Sorry, what?
You just did a video on it.
The
all
old
the
bastards.
old bastards.
Oh yeah, the old 77th.
The 70
Infantry division. That was Pacific. Yeah.
Technically, we were all a bunch of old bastards. Dude. We would fit that. We would fit
Well,
that
somebody
bill.
actually made a comment that I didn't even realize because the 77th was what Desmond Doss was attached to, which is a Hacksaw Ridge movie. And somebody made the comment, and they were like, I actually didn't. I was annoyed when I first watched this movie because all of the people in his unit were like old as shit compared to what they would have been in World War II. But now I realize that that's actually correct, that they were all 30-year-olds.
Wait, hold the fuck on. This is it. I don't know.
So 77th ID was originally a guinea pig unit. So basically, it was one of the first 3 units that was entirely comprised of draftees. So out of those three, out of the 3 divisions, they're like, well, let's take all the old guys and put them in one division.
Squared away unit.
And the idea was going to be that they wanted to run basically experiments on them to see like how hard you could push a 30-year-old in a combat situation, just so they had data for like if it turned into like absolute war. Like if we have to start drafting 40-year-olds, what are they going to be capable of? So they took them, they trained them for 2 years. They had them do like mountain warfare up in the snow. They had them do desert warfare out in Arizona.
Was it that? Can I guess that was probably one of the most squared away units?
Bro, it was the
Good
most
guess.
combat effective unit in the Pacific in all of World War II.
It was like if you took all of our friends, like us, and threw them into training.
I don't think if you take all of us right now and toss it out and you're like, guys, I know you made a lot of money. Now you make $1,000 a month. You're going to die.
There ain't no hoes in the Pacific, dog.
They're fucking angry.
You're telling me I'm gonna be gone from my my pleasure palace of a wife for 4 years in the Pacific, making $1,000 a month?
Okay, I meant squared away mature guys, but that's fine. It's shit on Cody again podcast.
No, I'm not saying. I'm
not
not
you, it's
using
the chair.
that was a positive. Actually, that was a compliment.
Cody.
It's the chair.
But yeah, no. So they put all the old guys in one fucking division, and the average age was 33 years old. And then they ended up getting sent out to the Pacific, and they shit on everybody. They were wrecking house bad.
So the only reason I guessed that was my Charlie 219, good old basic training here. Mine was the one platoon that had platoon has like 40 to 50 soldiers.
Yeah.
We had 28 specialists going. So these are all college grads, and then up to 35-year-olds going into.
Oh yeah, so the older guys always do better.
Yeah, so we had like everyone was just in basic training. You have like E1s to E3. No matter what, you might have 1 or 2 specialists. If you're a specialist, you have a degree. So we had like 20 something going into my platoon. My drill sergeant at the end, he was like, "You guys have been real." Like we had cake, we had a radio, we had all this shit going into week 3. He was like, "Oh, you guys are really squared away." Huh? Like he wasn't fucking with like 18-year-old retards.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's how these guys were too, because they were like they were going through all this. So this would have been 1940, late 1942, early 1943. They were going through basic. They took the 77th Division, and that was a division that was like their best unit that they had stood up, and that was who they chose to do a parade for Winston Churchill to like show off.
No shit.
Yeah, so like they were squared away from the beginning, and then they ended up sending them to the Pacific, and they were at the battle of Leyte, and they showed up to they won a battle, got sent to go on fucking leave for like 3 weeks on an island, and then the Battle of Leyte happened, and they're like, okay, we need these guys. So they turned the ships around from leave and dropped them off at Leyte, one of the bloodiest fucking battles in all the Pacific. And they show up and they're like, all these Marine units and Army units are just halted. Like the island's cut in half. The Japanese government already said like Leyte is going to be a decisive battle in this fucking war. They're throwing everything they have at it.
These are people that will die.
Oh yeah. They're not surrendering.
Yeah, no surrender.
Yeah.
They were telling the civilian populace at that time, hey, jump off cliffs instead of get captured.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not a good. That was a couple years later, but yeah. So like, I mean, it's just the island's cut in half, and they got people getting supplied on the back end from both sides. And the 77th is like, fuck it, let's go make an amphibious landing on the other side of their island and cut off their supplies. And they did it. Got cut off from everybody else for like 3 weeks straight, and they racked. It was like a fucking 56-1 KD ratio. And they became the only, so they took over the harbor that everybody else was getting supplied by, and an amphibious landing ship for the Japanese showed up with new troops, and they pulled up, and they had M110 tank destroyers and artillery. They're the only infantry division to sink a major naval vessel during World War II from land.
Blasting that mother.
The dude with the M110 just fucking lighting up a shit, not a boat, a ship, and they sank it. And then they took over like the entire fucking island. It was
all of them had like nukes. They had what is it? When you kill so many? Ben.
You're talking about the tactical.
Call of Duty.
Tactical move.
Call of Duty when you get a kill streak. They had kill streaks.
Massive kill streaks.
Yeah, massive kill streaks.
It's like you imagine us in that situation. There's a bunch of 18-year-olds running around like popping off their guns and stuff, and we're like, no, pull that fucking artillery over here and shoot at that ship. It's got big bullets in it. Shoot at that ship right there.
I've played a number of Battlefield games, right? Playing in a tank, you shoot down a plane, and you are on cloud nine. It feels so good. I cannot imagine the high of taking down a actual ship with a tank destroyer. Dude, that guy must have been just like, the gunner must have been freaking stoked out of his mind.
Dude, that team. Oh, dude, everyone was like, bro. Woo! He's just walking around, taking his helmet off.
Dude, they have like they have a Japanese ship on their tank for kills.
I explained this in the video, but like I know that you'll get this right away. So like when their first battle, they showed up. Fuck, I forget what battle it was. It was a battle where like the army units were not performing very well because they were mostly draftees, and the Marine Corps was in charge of the theater. And they showed up, and the Marine Corps guys were like, "Fuck, it's a bunch of old dudes. I'm just gonna like piecemeal them out as reinforcements to everybody else." And the Marine Corps general was so disappointed with, I think it was like the 73rd Infantry or whoever was already there.
Yeah.
He relieved their general of command and put another dude in charge, which is fucking wild for a Marine Corps general to relieve an Army general of command because he's disappointed in their performance. And then the 77th shows up, and all of his Marine Corps units are like, bro, these guys can throw down. So he's like, I'm going to send the whole division up to make an amphibious landing. And they made this amphibious landing. And the Marines that were stationed on the actual ships, one of them like famously said, "Look at those old bastards go," because it was just like slow as smooth as fast, and they just like marched right up the fucking beach, and everything went perfect, and that became their nickname, the Old Bastards. And so from there, after that happened, they went through this whole battle, kicked ass, and then all the Marines started calling them the 77th Marine Division because they were too good to be Army. It was like, bro, if you weren't in the military, you don't understand what a compliment that is. Marines are not good at giving compliments. That's the highest compliment they know how to give. That's a big deal.
Your Army, your opposite. Fucking goddamn, dude. And they had to scale the mountainside, right?
Yeah, they were the ones that. So there was one unit that had just gotten eaten up at the escarpment, Hacksaw Ridge. They got fucking just demolished, like 2/3 casualties, and then they sent in. They had the 77th waiting in reserve, so that would have been the battle of. Fuck, not Saipan. Damn it, I forget the island. It was like the bloodiest battle, and they basically had the 77th waiting in reserve to figure out like where the problem area was because they were the problem solvers. And then once a whole division got ate up at Hacksaw Ridge, they sent in the 77th, and they're the ones that got it done. And that's where Desmond Doss had his whole movie and everything.